Good afternoon, passport holders. Today, July 4th, 2017, day 977 of the vlogs, if I'm doing my math right, which I'm pretty sure I am. So, it's mid-afternoon at this point. Why am I starting the vlog so late? Well, again, I continue to try and shift my sleep schedule just little by little in order to get it so that when I get my final schedule next week, we will know how late I have to stay up, basically. It's looking more and more, because I was the only one who had some hardcore flexibility, that I'll be taking the later of all the variants of shifts, and it may even offset me a day, which I'm not super pumped about. But a lot of the other guys who are working the night shift have other jobs that they're doing, and so they really don't have any kind of give in their schedule. My biggest hope right now is that workforce management actually looks at everything and says, you know what, hey, you guys are all starting at 9 p.m. until 5:30, and as we build out more teams, well, then we'll shuffle you guys around. And hopefully I'm able to stretch that out for 6 or 7 months until the end of football season, which would be ideal. That stated, I'm not holding out hope. I would prefer to, if you want to shift me out by a half hour, that's fine. But ideally, that Monday night to Saturday morning swing or graveyard shift would be the ideal one. So that stated, I do have to continue to try and stay up until 5:30, 6 o'clock on a regular basis here. And so what had happened? Well, I woke up initially at 10 a.m., wide awake, and was like, no, I don't have to be up yet. Went back to bed, or tried to, and then 11:10 rolled around. I started to watch the Angels game from bed, did that for the first 4 or 5 innings, then came out here, watched the remainder of the game out here while doing the vlog edit and finishing up the Paige and Gary interview. So got all that done. At this point, Daily V did release a 24-minute episode. My hard and fast rule is if a Daily V is over 20 minutes, I split it and send it up to the outsourced captioners. I don't think I can do that today, although I probably could. I don't want to incur the cost, I guess, is the bigger thing. And because it was released on holiday, I'm not stressed about it. Plus, I still have 2 Ask Gary V's and 1 keynote to still do final reviews on, all said, about 3 hours worth of content. I do have caption files combined and ready to rock for all 3 of them, so they just need final reviews. So I think that rest of today is pretty clean. I'm going to be trading episodes of Game of Thrones and working on Gary's stuff for an hour. Clint's video went out to the outsourced folks, so I guess I should just split up the 23-minute video anyways and just send it up and see if it gets done. And actually, I'm convincing myself right now to do that it's not worth the money that I'll spend in order to put me further behind this week. Obviously, it's going to be a short week, right? Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. Earlier today, I did speak with Kami for about, 10-15 minutes about taking over their house for, I think it's like 10, 11, 12 days, something like that. So that'll start. They leave early Friday morning. I'll go over to their place Friday afternoon, taking a bag full of stuff, all that good fun, and then I'll head up to work Friday night and then come back to Ben and Kami's place for the weekend, and then for the preceding days. Unfortunately, with me being even further south, it will make my drive, which now currently sits about 30-35 minutes depending upon traffic. It'll push it closer to that 45-50 minute range, which is a little painful if I'm going to be honest. But these are the things you do for friends. So that stated, I'm going to roll forward, go watch another episode of Game of Thrones because I can, and kind of enjoy Independence Day, even though I'm not doing anything. I'm not joining up with any friends. I'm not going to go see fireworks. It is what it is, but I hope that those of you who have enjoyed it at this point. So let's get today started. 7 p.m. at this point, and it's just been pretty simple, guys. A couple episodes of Game of Thrones, finishing up bits and pieces of work, about 20 minutes in on Ask Gary V 256, so I should be able to finish that by midnight, no problem. It is a difference, though, when I'm not using the algorithms on timing and I'm using actual outsourced people to get me original times. Yes, there are little shifts here and there that have to be done, but overall, it works. The system works. So, did end up splitting off the Daily V260, sent that up. Again, I'm not really worried about when it comes back. just so long as I continue to produce 1 or 2 videos for the VaynerMedia guys a day, I'll eventually get caught up. My expectation is that it'll actually happen this weekend, um, especially since I won't be here. I think that that'll actually help tremendously in changing up kind of my normal schedule, at least in regards to like when I'm working, when I'm just kind of hanging out, and because I'm not going to have my Xbox, although I could sign into Ben's and all that good fun. I don't think I will, to be absolutely honest. I think that for the 10 days that 12 days that I'm over there, that if I am going to play, I'll come back here. So that kind of really opens me up to doing other things, right? Continuing to think about the list of things that I need to do, and hey, do I make this pitch to Gary in order to continue working on his account, which I don't think I will. Do I do this consulting gig that my former boss tried to reach out to me for? I'm gonna try. And so it's like things like that in order to sit there and enable me to generate the revenues that I need to in order to kill a little bit of debt that I have and everything else. Get me and the business in a much better spot so that I can achieve the big goals that I want in the next couple of years. All right, guys. So yeah, it's 11:30 at this point, or just about that. What have I been doing? Same stuff I've been doing all day. Game of Thrones episode, more work. Game of Thrones episode, or finishing that Game of Thrones episode, dinner, and then some Destiny. And I got Clintus's file from today back, so I'm going to take care of that one next. That's most important in the stack per my priority, because he's going to continue being a customer at least through the end of this month. So yeah, kind of a good spot there. Getting that done, and then I should have all 3 pieces from today's daily V back, so I'll get that done because per VaynerMedia stack priority, that takes precedence. And then if I can get one of the 2 Ask Gary V episodes done today, that would be awesome. That would be a huge win. And granted, I've got 5 to 6 hours until I go to sleep, so there's plenty of time for me to do that and watch a comedy special or watch another episode of Game of Thrones. Like, plenty of time for me to get all that done, especially given the fact that more and more I'm using a secondary program to do final reviews that allows me to go at 1.5 or 2.0 runtime. So like, it's definitely, it takes it from me being like 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 duration in order to get a file done to about 1.0 if it's a good file. If it's not, then obviously it takes a lot longer, but a 1.5x, so if it's a 20-minute file, it takes me a half hour to do final review on, which is actually pretty good. When I was doing them at real-time speed, it was taking me anywhere from 2 to 3 times runtime in order to get stuff done. So when I've got these bigger episodes, these hour-long keynotes and whatnot, it can take, for an hour-long keynote, 5 to 6 hours to do final reviews on them. So if I can cut that down to like 2.5, well, then that's a heck of a lot better, and I'll take that. Even if I can get it done, I've never had a file be so perfect that I can get it done at 1x, even with the variable. So yeah, any gains I can make, I'm gonna take. So that's it. I'm gonna go handle Clintus's now. Get that done. 1920. His day hanging out with the group of guys who went to Guardian Con, all going to Epcot and partying it up and having a good time. So should be an interesting episode at 18 minutes. Approaching 2:30 at this point, and just finished daily V260. There's part of me that wants to stay up and crank for another half hour, but then I know that I'm going to end up very likely needing an extra half hour to be able to go to sleep, and I'm actually kind of tired. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch a comedy special, half hour, 28-minute comedy special that's on Netflix. Do that real quick. That gets me to 3 o'clock, and then I'll go lay down and try and just pass out, which, if I sleep well, 7 hours, gets me up at 10 a.m., which gives me, 7-8 hours in order to get, hopefully, both Ask Gary V episodes done and Daily V 261, if there is an episode. So if I can get those 2 things, then those 2 episodes and Clintus's tomorrow done, in addition to my blog edit, et cetera, I'd be pretty happy with that before I go into work, and then that allows me to come back here and just chill out, do whatever the heck I'd like. It's going to be a pretty hectic week running in. Ideally, if everything comes together, and I'm really thinking I'm going to triple down on it, I would love to be able to clear the board on Friday afternoon, which would then allow me to have the weekend kind of come at me step by step, and I can really kind of hopefully take a little time for myself just to kind of chill out, be in a different space, which will be good. Take advantage of Ben and Kimmy's pool, and really kind of figure things out. And so we'll see. But it is what it is. As always, guys, thank you so much for your time and your attention. Wasn't a ton of fireworks here around in Central Phoenix, which I was actually very surprised by. And I'm very thankful for it. Remember, though, you never stumble upon opportunity by standing still, so go do cool stuff. Bye for now.